Shalom, shalom, Ashar Shabbat. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Kalalaba yaba shima mashak yaba shabrak tantura bahala wa ya. Shema yasharala yahaba al yahalama wa akad. Welcome. So we're going to talk about something that doesn't get talked about enough. Yeah, it's been in our faces the whole time. It's been in our faces this whole time. Now, for many who are of Israel by blood, many tend to overlook this fact, right? But we're going to be reminded of it in this lesson. And I'm not going to try to be too long with this lesson. I'll let the Spirit guide us and lead us accordingly, but I don't plan to be too long with this lesson. For those tuning in, Ashar Shabbat, be sure to wipe your feet on the rug by clicking the like button. If you're catching the playback of this live stream, you can do the same then. We're going to begin this lesson in the book of Genesis. And we're going to be reading from the 32nd chapter of Genesis. Now, to paraphrase the beginning of this chapter, because we're not going to read the entire chapter, we're going to focus on the few verses that's going to lead to this Shabbat's edification. To paraphrase the beginning of this chapter, Jacob has sent his messengers to talk to his brother Esau in Mount Seir. And his messengers came back alerting him that Esau has sent a band of men their way. So what Jacob did was acted swiftly on that, expecting the worst, because at this time, we know that Esau wanted to kill Jacob because of the blessing that they received from their father Isaac. So Jacob acted accordingly and divided his whole camp into two separate camps. All his servants, his livestock, he divided them in two with the strategy that if Esau's men caught one, the other can prevail and continue forward. He didn't want to have them all caught in one round. He was trying to give himself a better chance to escape. And when he did this, he also prayed to the Most High to deliver him from Esau, knowing that Esau wanted to kill him and was on his way with his own men. Fast forward, while Jacob was leading his division of the two separate camps he created out of his whole entire congregation, his wives, his children, his servants, and their livestock, he was left alone at one point. And I'm going to go ahead and start reading from that verse where he was left alone, right? Away from his servants, his livestock, his wives, and his children. We're going to start at verse 24 and read on down. This is Genesis chapter 32, verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So when Jacob was alone, he ended up getting into a squabble with some strange man. Continue forward, verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. Now, this man that our forefather Jacob was wrestling was an angel of the Most High. Let's marinate on that for a second. Our forefather Jacob was wrestling an angel in the form of a man, an angel of Yah, who was in the form of a man. Jacob was wrestling this angel and beating the angel. Think about that for a second. Jacob was overpowering an angel of Yah. Our ancient grandfather, Jacob, was whooping up on an angel of Yah, overpowering an angel of Yah. I want you all to really absorb that into your understanding. Jacob was overpowering physically an angel of Yah. Let's read it again for clarification. Genesis chapter 32, starting at verse 24. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So Jacob not only was overpowering this angel, he was wrestling with this angel for hours on end, to the point where the angel in verse 25 had to dislocate his thigh, his hip joint. He had to dislocate it to get Jacob off of him. Verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, that's Jacob, when the angel saw that he prevailed not against Jacob, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. So he dislocated his leg muscle, his hip. He dislocated that joint. Verse 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go except thou bless me. Our forefather, Jacob, was commanding an angel. That resilience, that fortitude, that determination that Jacob saw, that Jacob that we saw in Jacob, that determination, that fortitude, that resilience that the Most High recorded for us to read is in all of us. Yasharala. That is a character trait that we all have inherited by the way of Jacob. Mind you, he was prevailing against an angel of God. And we all know that the angels of God are no punks. They are very mighty and powerful. So not only was he overpowering this angel, he demanded a blessing from this angel. He said, no, you need to bless me before I let you go. Excuse me. Let's think about that now. Jacob didn't demand riches. He didn't demand any type of carnal thing. He didn't demand money. He didn't demand material possession. He didn't demand of this angel anything carnal. He demanded to be blessed. Now take this in consideration right now. What are many of his descendants wanting? We chasing after money. We chasing after material possessions. We're chasing after all type of nonsense these days. We don't have no strong desire of divine blessing, as Jacob did when he had this angel in subjection. No. We want to be thugs. We want to be gangsters. We want to be thoughts. We want to be everything outside of what the Most High has designed us to be. We don't want any parts of the Most High's design that he intended for us. We want all the material nonsense, the material garbage that this world offers. But yet we see here our forefather Jacob not only overpowered an angel of God, he demanded a blessing from that angel when he could have asked for anything else. He could have asked for jewelry. He could have asked for it for a whole bunch of other nonsense that's of the flesh. But no, he asked for a blessing. He demanded a blessing. Now, knowing that that type of fortitude and resilience and strength and power is an inheritance, how are you going to use it? Because we're using it many of us are using it in the wrong direction. We're using it for BS. We're using it for all type of destruction and nonsense and ignorance. We're not using it righteously. We're using it for wickedness. Let's continue forward. So verse 26 said, and he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go except thou bless me. Verse 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And the angel said, verse 28, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with Yah and with men, and hast prevailed. That was the blessing. He blessed him to be a prince with Yah, having power with both Yah and men. Think about that. Marinate on that. That is part of our inheritance, but many of us, through ignorance, use it for destruction, backwardness, ignorance, and foolishness. And therefore, it works against us as a whole. Because you're not trying to live righteously. You're not trying to honor the righteous things of the Most High. Therefore, it's to your detriment. Continuing forward, verse 29. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. Verse 30. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, or Peniel. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. So remember, this happened after Jacob prayed to the Most High to deliver him from the hand of Esau. This happened after him wrestling with the angel and receiving that blessing. Verse 31. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. So he was limping because of what the angel did to his thigh. If you ever had a joint that went out of place or out of socket, you're going to be in pain for a while, even though it got put back in. You're going to be in pain. So Jacob was limping because of that. Verse 32. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew, which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. So the sinew is the tendons and ligaments around the joint. Anytime you are butchering an animal for meat, you cast away those tendons and those ligaments around the joint. We don't eat that. It's unlawful for us to eat that because of this very thing here, because of the blessing that our forefather received, which is a secret superpower that we all have within us. It's going to work for you or it's going to work against you. It'll work for you if you're pursuing the righteousness of the Most High, obeying the commandments, keeping the faith of the Messiah. It's going to work against you if you want to disobey the commandments, not have faith of the Messiah, and do whatever the hell you want to do out here. It's that simple. Fear Yah, keep his commandments, and keep the faith of Yahushua. May peace, serenity, and prosperity be multiplied unto you all. Shalom.